Hello everyone. In today's exclusive interview on Dental News Pakistan, we're going to speak to Dr. Urooj Mumtaz. Your journey has been remarkable, spanning roles as a dentist, cricketer, and a commentator. Could you please reflect your diverse experiences?
So I always say this that I feel I have the best job in the world, and I'm talking about broadcasting, commentary behind the mic, doing something that I love so much. Playing the game was always a passion. The love of the sport was beyond anything for me, and I feel I'm very lucky and privileged to be in this place where I can do that. And obviously, opportunities have come along. I've been in the right place at the right time, and a lot of hard work goes behind that. So, the cricket, of course, the commentary after, and I love my field in dentistry as well.
Dr. Urooj, how has your experience as a cricketer shaped your journey as a commentator?
It's an unexplainable feeling. It's a very proud moment to captain your nation in any sport. Cricket is something that in Pakistan we eat, sleep, breathe cricket. So just having to wear that green jersey with the star on the chest, to wear that cap to lead your side, is an honor, and it is an unmatched honor, and I feel very, very proud of it. Again, very humbled by the experience as well. And there's a lot of things that we learned. Obviously, when I became captain, I was very young. I was just 21, going on to 21. I had a team which had an average age of about similar 21, 22. All of us had just started international cricket. So it was something that binded us together, was the pure love and the passion of the sport. But then having to deal with a similar age group, various backgrounds, various ethnicities as well, to bring everyone together and then step up as ambassadors of the country. Remember, we were role models for probably a lot of younger girls to come, also ambassadors of our country, being the flag bearers of Pakistan when we did go to play cricket. So I learned a lot in terms of, I guess the one biggest thing that I learned was human interaction skills, how to deal with different people who have various different personalities. Some are angry, some are young, some are overexcited, some need to be pushed. So you learn a lot about people and how to deal with them. Also, the other biggest thing was how to stand up in adversity when the chips are down and things aren't going according to you. What do you do? Yourself, to motivate yourself to come out bigger and better, but not just you, your group as well, because you're only as good as your team. So I think those were the few things that I learned. Also, women's cricket, back in the day, we were fighting for ourselves. We were fighting for the sport, because women's cricket was hardly played, was probably not even seen on TV, and nobody really knew about it. So we were fighting for a place on the global stage as well. And I think that fighting spirit, because if you are good enough, obviously, because you have to be good enough to then earn a spot or demand a spot in any field. So A, being good enough, and then B, having the confidence to then fight for your place and stand your own. I think those three qualities, or those three things, were biggest attributes that my journey as the captain of Pakistan taught me, and I feel those are qualities inside me.
You mentioned that when you joined Pakistan women's cricket team, the team wasn't visible in Pakistan. Do you have any role models or mentors who uplifted your journey? If yes, then how do you think that mentorship helps someone out in their profession, whether in sports or in dentistry?
Massive. There is absolutely no denying that there are people who inspire you, people who lead the way, people who show you how it's done, and that inspiration or mentorship is important. And for me, that came in my family. That because again, even when I started playing women's cricket, I hardly knew about women's cricket myself. I didn't know about women's cricket from the international world. I didn't know about a lot of female cricketers as well, because we were also just starting out as Pakistan cricket. For me, so my inspiration and my support and my mentoring came from my parents, in the shape of the fact that they supported me. They allowed me to live my dream. They allowed me to put my dream into structure and actually make it a reality. And they were there through and through of the way. My siblings as well, they were always there. They find a lot of pride in telling people that she's my sister. And that is something which is very heartwarming. Even my grandparents, my nani today is mashallah 95. My nana passed away a few years ago, and they also very proudly would mention that we are her grandparents. So I think those things are very important. and you flip this and you take this into the way where the inspiration came, not mentorship I would call it, but the inspiration from the cricketing world came. It was Jaunty Rhodes in 1992. I clearly remember where I was sitting when, and I'm sure you've all seen this clip time and again, and I'm sure all of you must have, some or most of you must have seen it live as well, when Jaunty Rhodes ran in Zamam ul Haq in the 92 World Cup, diving horizontal and crashing into the stumps. That picture in my mind is stuck like a background image of a phone, because that is something that really inspired me. And he was the one who changed the face of fielding. He made fielding fun, he made fielding exciting, and he did things that nobody had ever done in the field of in fielding inside cricket. So I drew a lot of inspiration from that. And along the way, when I did start playing, obviously there was former cricketers, my club fellows in my cricketing club, Karachi Gymkhana, where I used to play. Even from my dental college, my principal at Fatma Jinnah Dental College, Dr. Bakar Askari, also mentored me and guided me. So there was a lot of people who collectively made this journey possible.
Pakistan women's cricket team has come a long way from when it started. So what do you think that what kind of challenges women are facing while being a part of Pakistan women's cricket team, and how to overcome those challenges and how to improve the system?
Right, firstly, women's cricket has come leaps and bounds. We've improved a lot. There's a lot of progression that the sport has made internationally, of course. But even in Pakistan, the Pakistan Cricket Board has done its due share in promoting the sport and growing the sport with infrastructure, facilities. Now there are contracts in place. I never had a contract while playing for Pakistan, as weird as that might sound, but I did. I played for 7 years. But those things have happened. It has become a professional sport in Pakistan. And what the biggest thing is, we were talking about role models and mentoring. Pakistan cricket has now produced enough female cricketing role models who are inspiring the next generation, and people now know about women cricketers. Young boys and girls know female cricketers by name, and young girls, it is really heartwarming when young girls say, I want to be like the next Bisma Maroof, I want to be the next Fatma Sana, former captain and current captain of Pakistan. So just telling you in terms of progression, women's cricket has evolved a lot. However, there are still a lot of challenges. There is still a lot that needs to be done if we need to be one of the better contenders in the global game, because that's where the challenge lies. We need to have better infrastructures, coaching internationally, domestically, at the age group level needs to up its game. We need to have a system in place where there is school level cricket, college level cricket, club level cricket, and then age group cricket where there's an under 19 team and an A team. So there are sort of rungs of the ladder connect together, so we have a proper system in place. So I think those things, it's going to take a little bit of time. We are getting there, but it is work in progress. But those are the challenges that still lie. But I feel that there's a lot of improvement that has happened.
We already spoke about the challenges women are facing. Now let's talk about the dental clinic. While being in a clinic, what if people come to you and they tell you about your famous personality face? How do you react to that and how do you carry it?
It's very interesting because my receptionist, she tells me, because we've got a digital system which when it says only Dr. Urooj, I know that there is a reason behind this. And I've had a few patients who've come to me and it's like, I don't want to show my teeth, I just wanted to meet you. So that is sometimes a little bit of a weird interaction, okay, but we've also got younger kids, the smaller age group, 5, 6, 7, who probably don't watch as much cricket or don't know about it, who have absolutely no idea who I am. Which is also a different feeling in its own. And when I tell them, we've got a little corridor in our clinic, and I tell them, should we just play some cricket? And then, they turn around and tell me like, oh, you can't play cricket, or I'll beat you. And it's interesting because their parents will nudge them and say, oh, by the way, she's a professional cricketer. She was a captain of Pakistan. And then the kid's face, it just changes. And I've also got a lot of cricketers who are obviously our fellow consultants, patients who will see me in the clinic and who have absolutely no idea that I'm a dentist. It is so weird that a lot of the cricketing fraternity has absolutely no idea that I'm a dentist. So there'll be a lot of patients in the clinic and they'll be like, oh, is that Urooj Mumtaz? And then we'll have a whole conversation around cricket as well. But the best is when, that teenage lot, say between 16 and 25, recognizes you and is in so much awe of you. I think that is probably the best moment. But sometimes it's weird when people just come in to say like, they take a dental appointment, but they don't need a checkup. They just come to see me. Those things also happen.
Ma'am, can you please share any memorable incident in your commentary journey that you cherish a lot or that you recall most fondly?
I think it is the one where Babar scored his T20 century against New Zealand. I think he did 15 in the last over, and Iftikhar was on strike. I didn't know that. For me, it was just normal commentary. It was because the way the game was happening, scoring a T20 century is a big thing in its own, because obviously the game is shorter. Scoring 100 in that is a great milestone. And then for him to do it in that last over, the way it happened, for me, it was just normal commentary. But I think when I finished that, then when I hit social media, I realized that how much at least Babar's fans or Pakistan cricket's fans enjoyed that, and that became a bit of a highlight. So that was interesting. Also, being part of the recent Pakistan Test series win against England at home, coming after more than 3.5 years, was memorable. And in that, I remember it wasn't on commentary, but it was a post-match presentation interview with the Pakistan skipper Shan Masood, where you could feel the sense of emotion and what it meant for Pakistan to win.
What advices will you share with young girls or with women who want to carry sports and their professional life together?
I think it's hugely important that academics is priority, should be priority, because as big as a sporting career is, I also feel there's a life after your sporting career, and that's where your academics or your degrees do come in to put you in a better place with your sporting excellence. So I feel priority of academics has to remain. Having said that, doing both is not impossible. I did dentistry as well as playing for Pakistan together, and I said this before. Dreaming is absolutely fine. And making your dreams a reality is also 100% possible. And the only one thing that is an obstacle between you and your dream is you yourself. How you think about it, whether you think it's possible or whether you think that it's not possible, that you are the only hindrance between you and your dream. So if hard work goes in everything, no matter what the job is, no matter what the work is, no matter what the profession is, there will always be obstacles, there will always be good and bad times. It's not going to be easy. But dreams are 100% possible. So I always tell this to young boys and girls, keep dreaming, because dreams eventually do come true.
Dr. Urooj, being a family woman, how do you balance your motherhood with your professional life, and how do you align your career ambitions while prioritizing your family?
It's a very valid question, very important question, and mind you, it's very tough. Just as a female, a mother or a wife who is at home, that's a full-time job to begin with. To take care of the family and the kids, obviously part and parcel with your partner. That is a task and a half, or that is a full-time job. But to add any profession onto that, that is also extremely important, because you need to be able to balance it. So I feel balancing is the most important, but how do you balance? You prioritize. For me, my family is always priority, and in that also my little one, who's 9 now, she is right on top, because of broadcasting commentary, I have to travel quite a lot. So it becomes difficult for a mother who's doing a job 9 to 5, she still comes back at home at night. When I'm away for a week, 2 weeks, slightly more than that at times as well, it becomes difficult on the child, and I do realize that. So I try and give her as much time as possible. So balancing between the clinic, the commentary, I do prioritize her. So if there's a birthday party or we go to the club together, I encourage her to, I play a little bit of golf, I try and take her with me. We do a lot of, we've even got a little dog because of her, so we spend a lot of time with that. And we try and do a lot of things together. So at least when I am at home, she is my priority, but it is extremely tough and it's not easy. And it is a big salute to all those women who actually do this balancing act.
I really hope that mothers and women who are watching this interview are going to get the knowledgeable insights on balancing their lives while carrying their family and their profession together. Carrying it forward, let's talk about your health. How do you balance in between your busy life schedule and your health?
That's also another very, very good question. I think physical well-being, I think a lot of people will know about physical well-being, that you should have good sleeping habits, good eating habits, and you should indulge in some sort of extracurricular activity, whether even if it's just walking or a sport, yoga, anything like that, that it should be part of your daily routine. And the most important in all of this is making time for yourself. You will never find a window in the 24 hours where it'll just be like you'll be sitting and you have nothing to do for 2 hours. You have to make time for yourself, and that is important. You need to prioritize, because I always believe if I'm happy, everyone around me is happy. It's as simple as that. And I'm sure even you, when you're having a bad day, you can feel that negative energy around the room, and you get very edgy against everyone, and you're always sort of, guarded. So I just feel when you're in a happy place, you can make better decisions, you can have a better time, and everyone around you also becomes happy. But the most important in that is understanding the importance of mental well-being as well. The mind controls everything. Just the way we go to the gym for our physical exercise, it is very important to know how to handle yourself mentally when you're having a bad day or there's a stressful situation or you're anxious, whether it is basic simple breathing habits or there's a physical habit, but mental well-being is very important. For me, it comes in the shape of sport. I try and give myself, I've found a new love for golf and now paddle as well. But so when I play sport, I feel very happy. I feel like I'm in a headspace where I enjoy what I'm doing. So those things provide me a lot of comfort in terms of my life and how it's going, and it even allows me, if I'm having a bad day, it allows me to get rid of that and just get away from that for a bit as well. So I feel everybody has to find their own space and what works for them, but mental well-being, I think, should be priority, and everyone should take care of it.
You have had a significant role in dentistry and cricket. How do you wish to leave a legacy behind?
I think at the heart of it, I think people should remember you as a genuinely nice person whose company they enjoyed, and whatever time they spent with you, they have good things to say about you. All these accolades of this achievement and that achievement is just an add-on feature. So I genuinely feel everybody who I've spent time with, they have certain good things to say about me, and that's what's important. From a legacy point of view, I don't know if I'm there and if it qualifies as a legacy, but I would like, for anybody who's followed my story, I would like and I would hope that I have turned into a role model who probably has inspired some youngster out there to do better, to aim for something that they probably thought was not possible first. Or shape their life according to maybe something that they might have seen or in me or in my career. So I really would feel that I've inspired the new generation to do far better than for themselves.
You already spoke about the challenges and how to overcome them. Moving forward, how do you see the cricket team evolving in the coming years, and how do you hope to participate in that capacity?
So I was the chair of the Women's National Selection Committee for a couple of years, where my main focus was to try and find as much talent as we can to take cricket to places where women's cricket hasn't officially gone yet, and then try and find talent, because let me tell you this, there is no shortage of talent in women's cricket. There's a lot of girls who want to play the sport, a lot of girls who are very good at the sport. It's just about bringing them together and providing them the facility. So my services for the Pakistan Cricket Board are always available, any shape, form that they might require. And I always do try and play my part right, even when the girls are playing. If there's any way that I can help, I try and make myself available to go and watch. I was in an honorary role. I was heading the women's section for the PCB for a while as well. Again, the focus in that was to improve infrastructure, to give them domestic contracts, which happened for the very first time, to improve their international Pakistan contracts as well, improve on match fees, improve on what they eat, improve on the number of coaches. So obviously not just the one coach, putting trainers in there, putting physiotherapists, putting dietary plans in there, putting other specified field coaches like a fielding coach, a bowling coach, because it is a collective thing that works. So my services are always available, but I'd also like to urge the school and college community as well as the corporate sector to community, because it is Pakistan cricket and I think we all need to work together.
Last question before moving on to the fun part of this interview. If you can just recognize any moment in your career that you wish to relive.
My fondest memories and the moment that I'm extremely proud of and will always cherish in my sporting career was when I was a captain, 2009 Women's World Cup. We went to Australia for the first time. It was our World Cup under the ICC. Young team again, like as I mentioned, and we just landed in Sydney when we opened our phones and we found out that the unfortunate attack at the Sri Lankan men's team had happened in Lahore. And the opening ceremony was the following day, and the first question I remember at the opening ceremony to me, the captain of Pakistan, was, what do you have to say about the unfortunate incident in your country last night? And I don't know exactly what I said, but I said something along the lines of that because a few people went rogue, that doesn't define who we are as Pakistanis. There's 15 of us standing in front of you who are what true Pakistanis are. And we're a beautiful country with a lot of beautiful people, and we are the true image of Pakistan. Something along those lines. And I remember this because it was splashed in Australian newspapers the following day. But the story is interesting. Why? Because our first game was against India. My parents had actually flown into Australia to watch the World Cup. And they probably came an hour after the start time. It was a 50-over World Cup, and the game was over. We had lost. We were bowled out. It was horrible. And India, within the first hour, we bowled out for 57. They made it. It was over. So my parents came and they asked the trainer, like, why isn't the match going on? And they were told that the match was over. And the ICC handed us our return tickets back home, because back in the day, there were 2 groups of 4. There were 8 teams in the World Cup. We were number 8 on the ranking because we were the last to qualify. And it was supposed to be a Super 6. So the top 3 on either side had to go forward, for which that meant that if we had to win at least one game in our group to qualify. And our next game was against Sri Lanka. We had played, us and the Pakistan teams before us had played 18 times against Sri Lanka in one-day cricket. We had never beaten them. And talking about, it was an inspirational moment for me that I needed to figure out how do I inspire my group to do something which has never been done before, especially after all the calamity back home. So I took those tickets, went to the dressing room after the horrible loss against India, and I said, guys, this is us. We've lost against India. We've never beaten Sri Lanka in the past. And reality is, these are our return tickets, and we're going to go back home after we play our round games because we haven't won. So either we are the only ones who can do something about it. How about we do everything that we know that we've trained for? Let's have some fun and let's do our best and let's see what happens. And it was something that ignited something within the group. And for the first time in history, we beat Sri Lanka. In our next game, we beat them by 57 runs and we qualified for the next stage of the World Cup, which is the best we've ever done in a 50-over World Cup. We also beat West Indies in that. And we finished that World Cup 2 stages ahead from where we had started. So I think that is one of the most memorable moments of my cricketing career.
Let's move on to the fun part of this interview. We'll be now dealing with some rapid fire questions. So cricket or dentistry?
Cricket. Sorry, mom and dad.
Please let me know your any unconventional inspiration.
Oh, that's interesting. Most unconventional inspiration. I don't know if this sits for what you're looking for, but my nani, she's 95, she's not a dentist, she's not a cricketer, but she is, mashallah, up and about. She's got a 80 plus club who she teaches crochet because she's very good at crochet. She does religious sermons, she travels, she still picks my daughter up from school. So she's a role model and she's a go-getter, and I think for me, the inspiration lies at home.
What's harder, facing a tough bowler or a tricky dental procedure?
Ooh. A tricky dental procedure.
One piece of advice that you could give to your younger self?
I think when you hit rock bottom, there's only one place left to go, and that's up. So this is a saying from a Disney movie called Sing, where it is about all these animals who are in the singing world, and the koala says, when you hit rock bottom, there's only one place left to go, and that's up. And I think that's something that when the chips were down and it really got tough, it took me a little while to get back up on my feet.
After a long, tiring, worn out day, what is your go-to comfort food?
Chocolate.
A sport that you would love to try other than cricket.
Golf.
One skill that you're secretly proud of.
Oh. All my skills are on display. I don't hide my skills. I have zero singing skills, so I'm not proud of that at all. But I think some sport, I think I'm pretty decent at golf.
One rule that you would like to change in cricket, if you can.
That's a difficult one. One rule, and there's a lot around the run out at the non-striker end, which falls in spirit of cricket or the rules. That is something I feel that we need to put an end to that discussion. And if it's a rule, then no spirit of the game, and if there's spirit of the game, so that's a difficult one. But I feel something around that which needs to be without any confusion.
What was the last thing that you Googled?
What is the last thing that I Googled? Some sort of sporting equipment that I need to buy.
A song that always lifts your mood.
Summer of '69.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, that's interesting. Flying.
Thank you, Dr. Urooj, for taking time out to share your valuable life insights with us. I really hope हमारे viewers को आज का exclusive interview काफ़ी अच्छा लगा होगा. For more insights and for more exclusive interviews, please visit, like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.